Hello and welcome to Ask a Web Geek. My name is CJ Gilbert, and you've joined us for episode 15 of Ask a Web Geek. I can't believe it's been so many episodes already, and I'm so glad that you're with us this morning. My name is CJ Gilbert. I'll be your host and guide through the wilds of the internet. On this show, we talk about your questions. What questions do you have? I work with people on their website all the time, but they always have extra questions. How do I use social media? How do I upload this picture? How do I use this tool I'm supposed to use for my business, but it's online and it's technical and it's using words I don't understand? What do I do about it? Well, this is the place where you can ask all of those questions and we'll answer them together. If we can, we'll jump right over to the website, show you in real time exactly how it works, or we'll talk about the theory, or we'll log right into your account and do something, fix your website. Whatever we need to do, this is the place to do it. So we're glad that you've joined us in the web cave. This is where the web geek spends a lot of his time, here in the web cave, building those websites, building the internet, and working with business owners on their business. So you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're with us this morning. Take your right hand, if you're right-handed, pat yourself on the back and say, great job for being here this morning. I want to share with you an animal we've talked about before. This is an elephant. This guy lives on my desk right here. And the elephant to me represents a couple things. First of all, elephants are amazing creatures, very intelligent. I think there's an expression about how they never forget or they have a really long memory or something like that. I'm not an elephant. I don't remember what that expression is, but maybe you can tell me what it is. Anyway, they're very intelligent creatures. They absolutely work together as a family, as a team, and they have no problem barreling their way right through the jungle to get where they need to go. And the other thing that this elephant reminds me to do is to take one step at a time. Have you heard the expression, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. So when you're feeling overwhelmed and you're faced with too many options or too many things that you need to do, I want you to remember the elephant and just remember that all you can do is one thing at a time. Unless you're a woman, and then you can multitask. But for men, we can only do one thing at a time. So that's all you can do is focus on the next right thing. What's the next right thing for you in your business? Focus on doing that one thing. Take that one step, and then you can do the next thing. You can only do one thing at a time. Just focus on the next right thing. All right, we're putting the elephant right down there. Do I have a name for this elephant? Well, I have to name her Ellie, right? Because I'm so clever with my animal names. Ellie the elephant. I've got Gary the gorilla right back here in the tree. I've got Liz the lizard right down here in the corner. All right, let's jump into the show. Check the comments. We've got our live studio audience down here. Hey, there's Pam. Hi, Pam. Glad that you've joined us this morning. Welcome to the show. Okay, let's jump in. Let me pull up my slides for everyone to see, and we'll get things going. Anything else I want to say to you before I turn the camera off me? No, nothing comes to mind. Here we go. Ask a Web Geek with CJ Gilbert. I'm your web safari guide. We're going to get through this internet jungle together, answering your questions. The question we ask you, what would you like to ask a web geek? This is the time and place for you to ask any questions you have on websites or marketing or email campaigns or social media or whatever else you're struggling with. We believe that your website is your number one tool. Your website is your number one tool to grow and support your business. And if you think of it like that, you can use it to attract more customers, enhance your customer service, make more sales, increase your efficiency, save time, save money, and serve your clients better, faster, and easier. I want to take a minute to acknowledge you. You are in the right place. The one thing for you to focus on, the next right thing, is this moment. You're here with me now, and you're focusing on learning something for your business. And I want to just say congratulations, good for you. Pat yourself on the back. You're in the right place at the right time. And you're one of the few people that works on themselves to improve their business and their results. Congratulations. You have joined Ask a Web Geek. Really quickly, I'll run through all the places you can join our show. First of all, join us in our Facebook group. that is where we record the show live together as a community. I go live in the Facebook group. We chat for a few minutes. Then we kick off the show officially. We record the whole show right here live in front of our studio audience, looking for their questions, comments, and feedback the whole time. And then once that's done, we leave the whole uncut, unedited show in Facebook so you can see and hear every stupid thing that I say and do for your amusement. Then we trim it up just a little bit and put it on YouTube. So do subscribe on YouTube. The show comes out a few days later, usually over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, at least by Monday, hopefully, on YouTube and as a podcast. So I would love for you to subscribe on YouTube and listen as a podcast. All of these links are at the website, AskAWebGeek.com. So you can just jump over to AskAWebGeek.com and click the button to join the Facebook group, click the button to join our YouTube channel, and then scroll down to find our links to the podcast. You can jump over to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or there's a direct RSS feed if you know what to do with that. And finally, we're also on Twitter. Do follow us on Twitter at AskAWebGeek. That's me behind the Ask A Web Geek Twitter channel, and another place for you to ask questions as well as interact with me while you're watching or listening to the show or podcast. The perfect place. Just pretend that I'm talking to you live, and you can ask me questions while you're watching the show, even later, a day, a week, a month later. Tweet me while you're watching the show at AskAWebGeek, and I will answer you. I will respond to you, and that'd be a lot of fun to interact with me in the future, in the past. Time is all wibbly wobbly on the internet. Would love for you to do that. Quick disclaimer, you must be willing to have your question or issue addressed in a public forum. It's a public show. I want to make sure that everything we talk about is acceptable for me to talk about your business. I will hide your password. I will hide anything you ask me ahead of time to hide. There's ways that we can do that and protect your privacy. But for the most part, what I'm going to be talking about is publicly available, so I want to make sure that's okay all the way around. Keep in mind, this is not legal or professional advice. I'm a web geek. I've got 20 years of experience as a website developer and as a business owner since 2004. So I've learned a whole lot about sales and customer service and the internet and the technologies that are available to us and what websites can do. And I get really, really excited when I'm talking about it. But do keep in mind, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. And you need to have those professionals in your pocket that you run things by before you make any changes to your business. You accept responsibility for everything. CJ and Ask A Web Geek is responsible for nothing, and you are responsible for everything. Okay, who am I? I'm CJ Gilbert. I'm the Web Geek. I've been a web developer for over 20 years, and now I'm a speaker and an author, and I teach business owners to think of their website like a tool so that they can get better results, make more money, save more time, and serve their clients better, faster, and easier. That's what it's all about. My business is to serve your business as your business serves others. So I want you to do more business, and I want you to do better business. And I believe that by spending a few minutes together learning about these tools and technologies, that we can help that happen. We can make it more efficient. Invest a few minutes of time in yourself to learn something new. We'll be able to create a system that will pay you back over and over and over again. Invest a few minutes now and reap a whole bunch of minutes later in results. Be on the lookout for your golden nugget. Garrison announced in the comments at the very beginning he was really excited for his golden nuggets today. You know, our brains are so interesting. Each time you watch the video or you listen to the podcast, even when you consume the same show over and over again, you'll learn something new every time. All you have to do is be on the lookout for it, and you'll find that piece of gold for you right now in this moment. So be on the lookout for that. Also, grab some paper, draw a line right down the middle, label the left side notes and the right side actions. Now, what this does is it gives you a place to take a kind of stream of consciousness notes. As I'm talking through all the stuff I'm going to talk about, you'll be able to put all those notes down on that left-hand column. Go ahead and make the left-hand column a little wider than half. That's what I do. And then in that right-hand column, that's your action steps. Those are the things that stand out to you the most that you say, all of the stuff he's talking about is good, but for me, I know that the very next 1, 2, or 3 actions I need to take are, and you put that in the right-hand column so you can very easily find those things later. Move at the speed of instruction, as one of my mentors says, and make sure to star those golden nuggets. This will help you take notes, find your notes later, and most importantly, take actions on the things that are important. Ask a Web Geek is sponsored by a few wonderful, wonderful people. First of all, the mentor I was just talking about, he is my sales mentor, Eric Lofholm, and I want to encourage you to sign up for this free class that he does every year so you can plan your best year yet. Did you know that we are almost at the end of this year? Did you also know that we are almost at the end of this decade? I know it's going to freak some of you out, but for some of you, that's going to be really exciting. We have a new year coming, a new decade coming, and this could be your best year ever. This could be your best decade ever. And if you want to invest a few minutes to make sure that happens, sign up for this free class. Every year, Eric puts on this free class to create your sales and marketing plan for the upcoming year. And this is going to be the best class that he's ever done because he's super excited about the new year and the new decade. And he's taking all of his years of experience and pouring them into this free class. I do it every year, and you should too. I've got a special link for you to sign up. It's 2020plan.gilbertstudios.com. Again, that's 2020plan, plan.gilbertstudios.com. Go to this link, 2020plan.gilbertstudios.com. You'll be able to sign up for free. Just pop in your name and email address. He's going to send you all the information. This is a class that you can participate in live. The class dates are December 5th, 10th, and 12th. And it's at 4 p.m. Pacific. If you can be there live, you're going to get great value out of it. If you can't be there live, that's no problem. Every class is recorded, and you can watch it whenever you can get to it. One year, a couple years ago, I couldn't make it to the live class, and all this stuff happened. I didn't end up getting to the class until like March or April, but guess what? It was still there, and I could still watch every class, and I could still put together my sales and marketing plan. So it doesn't matter when you're hearing this. It could be, we're at the very beginning of November. It could be November, December. It could already be the new year by the time you hear me. That's no problem. Go jump in right now. 2020plan.gilbertstudios.com. Make this your best year yet. One of the best things you can do to get ready for 2020 is to create a written sales and marketing plan. And Eric's class is the perfect place for you to do that. So jot this down, 2020plan, 2020plan.gilbertstudios.com. Sign up for that class now, and I know it's going to add a tremendous amount of value to your year to come. And if you're not already, go over to this link and sign up for his daily motivational call. Every morning, he puts on a free 15-minute call to put you in the right mindset for your day, the mindset of success. And I cannot express how valuable this call has been to me. Go over to amcall.gilbertstudios.com. That's AM like the morning time, like it's 9 a.m., 10 a.m., amcall.gilbertstudios.com. Again, another free resource from Eric. It's a free 15-minute call, and if you just go to this address and pop in your email, he'll send you all the details, because once again, you have the choice of whether you want to be live on the call. He'll send you the phone number and the access code so you can be there. I was on the live call this morning. It was phenomenal. Today's date is November 6th. Whenever you hear this, you can sign up and you can find the November 6th call. It was amazing. And then you can hear the call I was on live this morning with Eric and many other people. Hundreds of people listen to this every day. And I just encourage you, do this. It's so important. It's going to put you in the right mindset of success and give you some really golden nuggets that you can use in your day. Super valuable information. That's where I learned about the next right step that I was talking about earlier. Focus on the next right step. This is the important things you need to get into your brain so that when your day is attacking you with life, you'll be able to focus on the next right thing. So I can't encourage you enough to go check out both of those resources. Once again, for the planning call, 2020plan.gilbertstudios.com. And then for the daily call, amcall.gilbertstudios.com. Go sign up for both of those, and you will thank me later. Let me know later what you think. You will thank me later. And finally, if you haven't already, check out my free video workshop. This is my gift to you and to anyone in your business community. Feel free to give this link to anybody, mywebsitesafari.com. This is my free video workshop. It's 7 videos. Each one is less than 10 minutes, and it walks you through a piece of your website at a time, which is really working on improving a piece of your business at a time. That's the secret. We're focusing on improving your sales and your customer service and the number of people that are finding you through search engines. This is the great place to go to do that. mywebsitesafari.com. Go sign up. It's totally free. It's something you can do bite-size, one piece at a time, one day at a time, and work on your business and your website. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. Buckle up. Stay hydrated. I'm going to take a sip of my water and my coffee. You should do the same because we're about to jump in to our featured topic of the week. I'm really excited about what we're going to be talking about in today's class. This is a question. I'm putting it here in the featured topic area, even though it did start as a question. And the question was social media. How? What? How do I get started? CJ, I don't even know where to start. I understand that social media is important for my business, but big question mark, big blank stare here. I don't know what to do. There's too many. There's so many options. I just don't even know where to start. And Donna, this class is for you. Donna was saying earlier in the call that she couldn't make it, but she was really excited to hear everything that I had to say about social media. So a lot of people have been asking me this. So our Ask A Web Geek question is going to be our featured topic today because it's all about social media and how to get started. So let me review really quick the last couple episodes because I want to reference one of them. First of all, if you didn't check out last week's episode 14, I talked about the 2 different kinds of websites and the 7 different types of levels of websites that we could create for you. And that's something that a lot of people don't know about, that there's so many different kinds of websites and how to choose which one's the right one for your business. So if you're interested in that, go back to episode number 14 to learn about those different types of websites and find out what works best for you. Then in the previous week, episode 13, I laid out an entire SEO strategy. And if you're not familiar with that term, think of it like this: how to attract more people into your website to get more leads for your business. And I laid out an entire strategy of how to do that. And I explained and laid out a plan on how you could invest 2 hours of your time to create an entire month worth of results. In 2 hours, follow my system, and in 2 hours, you can create 4 blog posts, 8 social media posts, and 4 email blasts that are all pre-scheduled, pre-programmed, and ready to roll out to your audience. So you can sit down in one afternoon, spend 2 to 3 hours doing this material, and you will create for yourself an entire month of results. That's what I want you to do. I don't want you to see it as separate steps. Oh my gosh, it's going to take all this time to do all these things. No, think of it like I'm going to sit down one time and I'm going to do all these things as a result of my one investment of time. So that's episode 13, where I laid out that full SEO strategy. And there's a callback because in that episode 13, I say, okay, now refer back to episode 12 because we talk about how to create those social media blasts, pre-program those social media. And in episode 11, we talked about how to create and pre-program your email blasts. So it kind of a little bit backward, but that's just kind of the way it happened. Episode 13, I lay out the whole strategy. Episode 12, I teach you how to create the social media blasts. And in episode 11, I teach you how to create the email blasts. So all of those are going together. And the thing I want to show you, I wanted to highlight episode 12 here because I teach you about how to create your social media blasts. But in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to get started with social media. You might not even be to that place yet. You might not have your social media channels established and ready to start creating those blasts. So if that's you, this episode is for you because we're going to talk about how to get started in social media in today's call or class. Okay, be social, where to start. I'm going to pull my little cam over here so I can be talking to you in the corner. Podcast audience, you can see me if you watch the video version of our show. So, where to start? You're supposed to be social, you're supposed to be on social media, but you don't know where to start. Here's my suggestion for you. Don't think of it from the terms of you, think of it from the terms of your audience. So, when you say to me, CJ, what social media channels should I use? What social media platforms should I use? There's so many. Do I have to use them all? And the answer is no, you don't. And then your question is, well, which ones should I use? So to answer that question, I'm going to ask these questions to you. Number one, who is your target audience? I talked about that in episode 10. If you need to go back and learn more about your social media episode, I think it was episode 10. If you need to go back and hear me talk about, I'm tripping all over myself. Let's rewind. If you need to establish who is your target market, go back to episode 10 where we talk a lot about that. And I'm bringing it up again because whenever we're talking about some things that you're going to be doing online, my question for you is going to be, who's your target market? Everything that you're doing online, everything that you're doing on your website, everything you're doing in your social media, everything you're doing in your email blasts, it's not about you. It's all about your audience. So everything that we're doing has to be put in those terms. Does that make sense? It's all about your audience. So when we're going to talk about social media, I'm going to, again, tell you to focus on your audience. Who is your target audience? And here's the magic of asking that question first. Not everyone is everywhere. That is to say, you can't be on all of the social media platforms all the time. But you know what? Neither can your audience. So the real magic is going to be, who is your target market? And then we're going to figure out, where is your target market? They're not on all the social media channels. Chances are they're only on a couple of them. There may only be 2 to 3 platforms that contain 80% of your audience. Well, guess what? Those are the 2 to 3 platforms that you should focus on. So don't worry about doing all the social media platforms. It may have been a little overwhelming for you if you were watching that previous episode. Which episode was it again? Gosh, my memory is not that of an elephant, let me tell you. It was, right, episode 12. In episode 12, I let you peek at my buffer account, which I use to oftentimes send out social media blasts. And I've got a lot of accounts in there. And you may have looked at that and been like, oh my gosh, he's got 10 social media accounts in there. What the heck? I'll never do that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about doing that. Just focus on the 1 to 2 to 3 platforms at the most that are going to be right for your audience. Okay? So all of this is going to begin with, who is your target audience? Who is your target market? Then from there we can extrapolate what are the right social media channels. And I was going to elaborate on that a little bit, but I don't think I'm ready to do that yet. So start with that. Who is your target audience? And then tell me, and then we'll have the conversation. Okay, I'll throw out a couple. So for example, Facebook, that's a pretty common one. There's a big spread of people that are on Facebook. That may be right for you. Twitter, might not be right for you. It might be. It depends on your audience. LinkedIn, do you have a business audience? If you're a business to business, or you are focusing on people in business, LinkedIn might be an excellent place for you to check out. Have you ever heard of Pinterest? Pinterest might work for you, but only if your target audience is mostly women, especially mothers. If you're looking for women and mothers especially, Pinterest might be the place for you to check out because that's the audience of Pinterest. Okay. So those are just a couple examples. I could go on and on. YouTube is really popular right now. Tons of people are searching YouTube. The demographics, though, are all over the place. So anyway, focus on who is your target market. That's the right place. Then what? Okay, then I want you to start super, super slow. So the first question, who's your target market? Here's the next question for you. What can you do? How much can you do? Checking my comments here real quick. Hi, Sandra. Thanks for jumping on. Glad that you're with us this morning. We're talking about social media this morning and how to get started. So the first question, you haven't missed much. You've missed a lot, so watch from the beginning. But the first question was, who is your target market? Because not everybody is on every platform. So just figure out as specifically as possible who's your target market, and then that information will tell you which 1 to 2 to 3 platforms you want to focus on. So after you've asked yourself who's your target market, ask yourself what you can do on a per day basis. What or how much can you do? Can you spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day? Maybe 10 to 20 minutes a day? I don't want this to take a lot of your time. I don't want you to feel like you have to invest hours and hours and hours and hours into this before it's going to make any results. I want you to see it as one step at a time, one bite at a time through the jungle, okay? So Ellie is going to remind you that you're just going to focus on one step at a time. So your first step, who's your target market? Your second step, what are little bite-sized pieces you can take in the social media jungle? And then establish it as part of your routine. So for example, could you do 5 to 10 minutes in the morning? Could you do another 5 to 10 minutes in the evening? It's going to be more effective for you if you do a few minutes a couple different times a day. Here's a golden nugget for you. People have social media as part of their daily routine. There are times and places that people will check in to their social media. It could be while they're waiting for something to happen. It could be early in the morning. They jump on and they check something. It could be around noontime as they're waiting for, their food to be cooked, or maybe it's during their morning business meeting when their boss is, boring them to death and they're on social media. What you're going to find is there's a couple times of day that people jump in, and it's different for different people. You're going to have morning people, noon people, and evening people. So my suggestion for you is, if you can, to begin with, schedule yourself 5 to 10 minutes, not a whole lot. Don't make it a big commitment on your part. Do something that you can commit to regularly. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes around noontime, 5 to 10 minutes in the evening. What's going to happen is you're going to be addicted to it. You're going to like it. You're going to spend more time on it. But just focus on doing a few minutes. And that's going to allow you a couple things. You're going to become familiar with the platform. You're going to begin to engage with different audiences that are there at the different times of day. Don't think to yourself, well, I'm only going to do it at evening, because you could be missing out on a morning crowd. The morning crowd and the evening crowd could be two different audiences. So those are just a couple golden nuggets for you to think about as you determine what's going to work best for your schedule. Add it as part of your routine. You're going to check in, and you're going to spend 5 to 10 minutes morning, evening, morning, noon, and evening. It's your choice. Work it into your schedule. Okay? Once you've done that, what are you going to do during that time? Great question. Let's go to the next slide. So the first thing I want you to do is focus on becoming a native. And what I mean by that is, I want you to start slowly. I want you to imagine that this is an existing community. and they're using a language that exists in this platform. Each social media channel has its own unique language. The way that they share information, or the kinds of words they use, or hashtags, or whatever else it might be, each social media channel has its own nuances. So I want you to recognize that when it's like you're walking into a room of people that is already there and already having conversations. So you don't want to just jump in the room and start yelling, "Hey everyone, look at me, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff." They'll ignore you, they'll block you, they'll never listen to you. What you want to do instead is focus on becoming a native. You want to join the community that's already there, and you want to learn how they interact with each other. So imagine there's this tribe of people, they're all speaking a similar language. You want to learn how to become part of them and not just burst in and tell everyone to buy your stuff. Does that make sense? You want to focus on building relationships first. Learn the language that they're using. Become part of the community. So, before you jump into social media and start blasting your thoughts all over the place, blah, I want you to spend some time just reading, just learning. So, what are you going to do in those first 5 to 10 minute sessions? This is what you're going to do. You're going to focus on becoming a native. You're going to understand that you're learning a new language, and what you're going to do is you're going to start by reading and learning. There's a lot of people out there, and the best thing that you can do is start reading and following some of the things that they're saying. So how are you going to do that? Well, I want you to start by supporting others. And for the first 1 to 2 weeks of this process, I don't really want you to post a lot at all of your own stuff. I would say don't start by posting, start by learning. And this is how you'll do it. This is sequential, so check this out. I want you to start following people. I'm going to tell you, I'm thinking of Twitter specifically as I use a lot of these languages. But this is going to work for every social media channel. This is going to work for Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. It's going to work for all of those. I am thinking Twitter, but it works exactly the same way on Instagram and Pinterest and all those other places I was just saying, and LinkedIn. So the first thing you're going to do is follow others. You can search for keywords that are related to the things that you're tweeting about. So you can find people that represent other people in your industry. You can also find people that represent your audience and see how other people are serving those people in your audience. And I want you to follow them. Follow them means that you're subscribing to them, and when they post, that will appear on your news feed. Regardless of the platform, they kind of all work the same. When you follow someone, or you subscribe to someone, or you join them on LinkedIn, or you friend them on Facebook, whatever word is being used there, now they're going to show up in your news feed because you basically subscribe to their channel, if you will, okay? So as they post, you're going to now see those things pop up on your news feed. When you first open a social media channel, you'll have no one there because you've subscribed to no one. So look for people that you know already in the community, either locally or in your industry, or other people you respect. Follow them, see what they're posting and tweeting and all of those things. So that's your first step, is follow people. Follow people. Now, as you follow people, and you can search either individual people or you can search a topic or keywords. Just search for a couple things that you feel is related to what you're doing, or that you feel is related to your audience. Follow people and see what they're doing. That's your first step. And then as you do that, that's going to start adding people to your news feed. So in your very first day, you've signed up for social media. That's probably enough. That's probably your first 10 minutes. Then later that evening, in your next 10 minutes, you're going to start looking for people that you can follow. Search on your industry, search for words that relate to what you're doing, search for people you already know. Follow me. By all means, come to my website, gilbertstudios.com. I've got links right down the side column that link you to all my social media channels. So follow me and check out what I'm doing, right? And then As you follow people, that's going to start populating your news feed. Now when you log in, you're actually going to have some people showing up. So here's the next thing. As you're reading what they're doing, if you like what they're saying, like it. And again, this the language is a little different for every social media platform, but basically there is an option in some way to like their post. So if you like what they said, like it. Now, if you really like what they said, if you love what they said, if what they said feels like something that you would say, then you want to share it. Again, the language is different per channel. If you're on Twitter, it's called a retweet. So you're going to retweet their post. If you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, it's just called share. And what that means basically is you're echoing what they're saying to your community. So clicking like tells them, hey, I really liked what you said. And some channels will say, you've just liked so-and-so's post. But the next level up is to repost it, to share it, to retweet it. And what that does is it echoes it to your community. Anyone that's following you will now see that post from that person. So does that make sense? I'm giving you levels of interaction. If you like what they're saying, you're going to like their post. If you love what they're saying, you're going to retweet it. You're going to repost it. You're going to share it, and it's going to echo it to your community. And then if you're brave, and I have a caveat here, if you're brave, leave a comment. But here's my challenge. Comment briefly. Don't take this as an opportunity to say, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. That's going to turn people off, and I don't want you to do that. So I almost hesitate to tell you to comment. What I really want you to do is join the community, become a native, learn the language, begin to follow, like, and share and retweet what other people are saying. And then when you feel comfortable and you can do it briefly, go ahead and comment. You know, even a quick comment like, wow, really resonated with that. Wow, thank you for posting that. Wow, I feel that same way. You know, something like that. Let them know that you've read it, you really appreciate what they're saying, and leave a brief comment. You're not ready for big comments yet. Brief comments. Does that make sense? Give me some feedback. Let me know if this is making sense to you, okay? So we'll summarize all this in a minute, but you're going to start slow. You're going to follow, like, and share. Let me make this big. Well, I'm going to take a drink of coffee, and you guys can look at this slide for a second. Okay, so then here's your homework. Here's your action steps. Number one, who is your target market? Who specifically is your audience? Describe them to yourself. Write this down on a sheet of paper, blank sheet of paper. Write, who is my target market? If you think you have 2 target markets, draw a 1 and a 2. If you have 3, put 1, 2, 3. And then I want you to list out as specifically as possible who are those people, by age, by gender, by demographics of any kind, financial, education, geographic, where they live. Who are your people? Who are the people you want to reach? Who is your target market? Once you've done that, then we can figure out which are the 1 to 3 platforms that they use. It's not about you, it's about your audience. So who is your audience, number 1? Number 2, where is your audience hanging out? Because those are the social media platforms you should focus on. Then, after you've opened your first account there, you're going to start following people. Follow, subscribe, whatever the word is on that platform. You're gonna begin to join up with people, friend them, follow them, connect with them, whatever the platform word is. And you're gonna follow like-minded people, people in your industry, people you respect, people that are saying the things that you would be saying. Follow people you don't like and see what they're saying. I mean, go for it. And then as you're joining the community, as you're learning the language, you're going to find posts that you like. And every time you see a post that you like it. Click the like, the heart, the whatever button it is that's there. Like their posts. If you really like it and it sounds like something that you yourself would want to say to your audience, If you'd thought about it ahead of time, you would have posted it, then share it. Click the button. There's going to be a like button, but then there's also going to be a share, retweet, repost, some kind of button like that. Instagram makes it slightly harder, so we'll have to talk about that in a future show. But whatever the if you like it, like it. If you really like it, if you love it, if it's something you would say, share it, repost it, retweet it. This is levels of engagement. You're following people first, then you're beginning to like the posts you like, then you're beginning to share and retweet posts that you really like. This is the best way to start in social media, and you haven't even written a word. Do you see? Do you see the beauty of this? I'm teaching you how to use social media in such a way that you don't even have to write any posts yet. You don't even have to come up with any content yet. You're just learning a new language. You're going to join the channel and you're going to follow people that resonate with you, and you're going to begin to like and share the things that they're posting. Can you do that? I know you can. I know you can do that. And if you feel up to it and you can do it very briefly, you're also allowed to leave some comments. Like it, share it, and then comment on their post saying, man, thank you for sharing that. I really needed to hear that today. Wow, what a great insight on that topic. Thank you for sharing it. Wow, I love what you said about that. I'm sharing it to my community so they can hear it too. Go ahead and start interacting with those comments briefly, very briefly. And that's going to be where we start today. We'll have more in future shows. I invite your feedback. I want to hear everything that every question that came to your mind while I was ranting over the last, 10 to 15 to 20 minutes about all that. What questions came to you? What are your follow-up questions? Or as you start to go through this process, start writing down the questions you have for me. Come back to the Facebook group, leave those questions. We'll cover them in a future show, okay? Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know if you like it. Let me know what follow-up questions you have. I want to support you as you begin this journey, okay? I've got something over here to make you laugh. I taught a social media class a couple years ago, and I wrote this silly thing, which I kind of stole from an inspiration from another post, but I modified it for my own use. So here's an example of all these different social media channels and what they are in reference to donuts. And I can explain this more to you if you like, but here's an example of donuts across all the social media channels. Facebook, I like donuts. Twitter, I'm eating a #donut. Foursquare, which isn't used a whole lot anymore, where I eat donuts. YouTube, watch me eat this donut. Instagram, here's a vintage photo of my donut. LinkedIn, skills include eating donuts. Pinterest, cool donut recipe. Yelp, donut shops I hate. Blogger, I write about donuts. Meetup, let's meet for donuts. Google Hangout, donut hangout at 7. I don't think Google Hangout exists anymore. I might. Tumblr, animated GIF of sprinkles. And Vine, 12 donuts in 6 seconds. If you know any of those social media channels, that might make you laugh. If you don't, I'll explain it later. All right. That's my social media with donuts. Let me know your follow-up questions. Let me know what you thought about that. All right, it's now time to ask a web geek. Well, you already were asking a web geek, and I already told you all about it, but let's just review a couple things. These are all the questions we've already answered in our first dozen shows or so. So if you have any of these questions that you see in front of you, and I'm not going to read it to you, sorry, podcast audience, listen to a previous show for this list. This is everything we've talked about before. Find the episode that you need to learn more about those things. And would you please join our Facebook group? There's a lot of ongoing conversations there. We have conversations about customer relationship management tools, project management tools. Please chime in with your thoughts and ideas. We want to hear what tools you're using, what technologies you're using that are making your lives easier so that we can use those too. So jump in with those, please. If you have any questions, if you have any comments about any of these things, please jump in and leave your comments. If you use PR Web or any of these tools. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And do you have any more answers on this one? Can you recommend some good books and resources on offline, inexpensive guerrilla marketing techniques? What are relatively cheap things that business owners and independent professionals can do to gain greater exposure and reach in their local areas and beyond? Join us, leave your comment there. What are things that you're doing to grow your business offline? What are some good marketing techniques that new business owners or new professionals can use to get going? Leave your comment. We'd love to hear. And please leave all your questions. What questions do you have? What can we answer in a future show? Leave me a comment. Leave me a comment under this video, or even better, join our Facebook group and create a fresh new post with your comment so that I don't miss it, so that everybody sees it, so that everybody can jump in with their ideas, and I'll be sure to cover it in an upcoming show. All those links and details are at AskAWebGeek.com. I want to remind you one last time before we sign off, make sure to sign up for Eric's free class to help you plan your best year yet. Create your 2020 sales and marketing plan. Just go to 2020plan.gilbertstudios.com. That's 2020plan.gilbertstudios.com. That's the place to go for you to create your 2020 sales and marketing plan. This is one of the greatest things you can do to put yourself in a position to have your best year ever. And then also sign up for his free daily call where you can start your day right. The special link on this one is amcall.gilbertstudios.com. I'm leaving this in the comments section right now for everyone to click on. This is where you can join his free call every day. It's a new call. It's only 15 minutes. It's totally free, and it puts you in the right mindset of success. So sign up for both of those resources. You will thank me later. And finally, check out my free video workshop at my website, safari.com. There are 7 videos here. They are less than 10 minutes apiece, and they will help you systematically improve your website, which is going to improve your business, which is going to improve your results. This is 10 minutes you can invest 7 times to improve your whole business. And let me know what questions you have as you go through it. We'll make sure to answer every one of your questions. All the links and details to everything that I've just said is at our website, AskAWebGeek.com. You can go to AskAWebGeek.com. You can join our Facebook group. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can join one of our podcast channels. I would love it if you're an Apple user. Please please click that link to join our Apple podcast. Subscribe there, leave a review. That would really help me a lot. I would really appreciate that. You know what? Let's take a super quick field trip over to our website, just because I've got it open and I can show it to you. Here's our AskAWebGeek.com website. This green button takes you to the Facebook group. This blue button takes you to the YouTube channel. And all the way down here, underneath this section titled Play, Watch, Listen, I've got a link right there to the Apple Podcasts. Come here, click there, join and subscribe on Apple, or if you're an Android user, there's the Google link right there. So however you do it, Apple Podcast or Google Podcast, there's the link right there, AskAWebGeek.com. By the way, if you have another podcast player that you use, we should be there. So just search Ask A Web Geek. I know that we're on several other places. So if there's some place that you prefer to use or listen, let me know. We're on Spotify. We're on, everything else just fell out of my brain. We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. If there's another player that you use and we're not there, let me know, because I want to make sure to put us there. But most people can find it with the Apple and the Google links. Thank you so much for your time and attention this morning. I'm so glad that you've joined me. I hope you've got a couple really golden nuggets that you can use to improve your business, jump into social media, and get some really great results. Please let me know what follow-up questions you have as you go through that process. Let me know what else you're struggling with. I want to hear from you, and I want to help you, and I want to answer every one of your questions. If there's a tool or a technology or a website or something that you're using and you have more questions on, you may not even think it's related to websites, but if it's online and it's technology related and it's business related, I'm here to help you. We're answering questions on Gmail, on Microsoft products, on Outlook, on anything that I can. If you've got a question on something, drop it, come to our Facebook group, make a new post, and ask me your question. I want to fill up all of our future shows with your questions and the specific information that's going to help you the most. So, from the web cave in the web jungle, I'm CJ Gilbert, thanking you for joining us for another amazing episode. You make it amazing with your questions. This entire show is to help you. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you for being here. Invite a friend, if you will, to join our Facebook group. Subscribe in all those places, your likes, your comments. I really would appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Please let me know how I can help you. And remember, as you go through your week, the internet is a jungle. It's too easy to get lost and fall down hidden traps and find yourself distracted and find yourself down a wrong path and you're not getting where you want to go. You need to hire a well-trained guide and join up with a tribe of people that can lead you through and get you where you want to go. Have an amazing week. We'll see you next week in the web jungle on Ask a Web Geek. The internet's a jungle. Roar! The internet's a jungle. Roar! Remember, one bite at a time.